I understand that there's people that can be frustrated with Xbox. There's people that can be frustrated with PlayStation. In this particular instance, I understand the Xbox frustration because I've been there, right? I've seen the frustration. I've had the frustration for years. But at the same time, I also realize that these are video games. And when you're talking about video games, these are things that are meant to bring us joy, to bring us fun, and a lot of times I think we forget about that as fans when we look at video games. We're like, well, Microsoft hasn't come out with an exclusive this year. Well, let's just all pack up our Xboxes and get rid of them, right? Oh, wait, no, that would be asinine and completely illogical to do that, right? Because at any given time, the majority of us on consoles are playing the same things. We're playing the multi-platform titles. And, yeah, you could throw up some UK box sales when nothing has come out for weeks or months. And, there's not exactly a firm grasp of the number of sales, something like Horizon Forbidden West. That came out 5 months ago. Very few people that got that at launch are playing through it still. So what would you be playing? You would be playing multiplats, right? Listen, Sony has had a better year with exclusives, no doubt about it. Microsoft did a pretty fair job with their showcase event. I thought they did a pretty good job with that. I personally would have liked to seen them announce a couple of things outside of that 12-month area, but whatever you're going to do. I mean, if they wanted to do it how they wanted to do it. A lot of us didn't realize that they were only going to cover 12 months. So when it comes to game announcements, stuff like this news, this announcement gets you very excited. But then there's going to be cynical people as well, where they're going to go, oh, well, they're excited about what they didn't show you. And honestly, listen, I get that argument too. Games are coming. Nobody wanted there to be a pandemic. Nobody thought that Microsoft would go, multiple years without AAAs and things like that. Surely that's not how they wanted to kind of run things, but it ended up how things ended up being. So we either have a couple of choices as fans. We can either accept it, play other games, and, enjoy ourselves if we can afford multiple consoles, get multiple consoles, play the games, or get rid of your Xbox and move on to something that you do like and you do want to play, right? Because video games shouldn't be stealing your joy. They should be adding to your joy, adding to the fun that you have. So announcements like this are impressive. I'm excited by this. Again, there's going to be some people that are going to be clearly cynical about it. But for me personally, this is the type of stuff that I love to hear. And I can't wait to get into this. It's going to be a really good video. Hopefully you guys stick around and enjoy it. But let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Now listen, I understand the obvious thought here is that I'm damage controlling from Microsoft or saying that it's okay not to have any games or exclusives. That's not the case. I'm just saying there comes a point in time where you either have to accept what is and look to the future and be happy in the present, or you can continue to be insufferable and just be a jerk and and just kind of take that way about things. Now for me personally, I think that way doesn't make sense if you're a video game player, because video games are meant to be absolutely fun, and they're meant to be these cool things that bring us into these different worlds and where we just have a good time. Now Microsoft has obviously dropped the ball when it comes to certain aspects, but at the same time they continue to get people excited about the future. There's plenty of unannounced Xbox games in the works, according to Aaron Greenberg. Microsoft's head of Xbox game marketing, Aaron Greenberg, appears to have teased great news for Xbox players. Xbox fans will probably know a reputable German insider who said after the insider posted a new unofficial Xbox and Bethesda game roadmap for 2022 and 2023 and beyond, Greenberg replied to this roadmap saying that there are still plenty of upcoming games that aren't even on the list just yet. Impressive to see a list, especially knowing there's a lot more in the works that are not on here, according to him. As expected, more details weren't shared, but without a doubt, Xbox players will be more than happy with the news. Although pretty outdated, the unofficial Xbox and Bethesda games roadmap includes Forza Motorsport, Redfall, Starfield, Avowed, Hellblade 2, Perfect Dark, Fable, Everwild, as well as Outer Worlds 2, Indiana Jones, another Gears of War installment, Elder Scrolls, Hideo Kojima's Xbox game, and other stuff, Contraband. Clearly, there's 14, 15, 16 games announced during the Microsoft and Bethesda Game Showcase last month. Microsoft showed off various upcoming titles for Xbox. A lot of them, obviously aren't going to be exclusives or long time exclusives, but stuff like Arc 2 or the Forza Motorsport, Pentiment, High on Life, Starfield is going to be the big one, I think, next year. But yeah, listen, it's always good to see Xbox tease different things that are coming to the platform. Now, again, this does sort of go into the role of, listen, we're more excited for what we didn't show you because I get the meme because it's funny or whatever. But at the same time, I also want to point out that it's true, right? Like, I'm sure the same thing for Sony. Like, Sony probably has stuff in the works that they're excited for that they haven't shared with anybody yet, but, that they would be extremely excited for in the future. This is what, video games are all about. And we keep seeing great announcements that really kind of inspire people to, buy Xboxes. And I think that's really cool. Now, listen, I think Microsoft should stick by what they're doing. They didn't want to show anything beyond 12 months for the most part. But at the same time, I feel like little teases like this make sure that people realize that even though they're not mentioning anything specifically, that there are in fact, games that are unannounced that are coming. And I think that's really something that's going to be important for people to kind of remember before too long. Yeah, like, listen, Xbox clearly has a long way to go there. Listen, I understand that. And I understand if you're a type of fan that, is a little bit skeptical, because I think being skeptical is 100% the way to be with anything. But in particular, I would just hope that, Microsoft kind of gets their act together. It does seem like they're kind of out of the way of this whole crunch culture and this kind of stuff. So to see them kind of excited about the future again is very telling, and something that I personally am excited to hear about. And I get that it's not probably, huge, amazing news for a lot of people, but for me, I think that it's a really good announcement. It's good to get people excited. It's good to kind of let people know that, there's some awesome things coming in the pipe. And, I got to say, just as a Xbox fan, it's an exciting time. It's probably the most exciting time in the last couple of decades, to be honest with you. I mean, there's always stuff to be excited about, but in particular, it seems like Microsoft has, just tons and tons of stuff that they're making, and we don't even know probably half of it. Supposedly they have up to 50 games, and we'll have to see what happens. It's going to be super interesting to see how this all works out and plays out for fans, but it's still exciting nonetheless. And I do want to see what happens in the future, and I want to see as many games as I can, but I'm very understanding as well as to why not everything is coming out right this second. I wish people were a little bit more as understanding as I am with this stuff. So it's not making excuses, by the way. The same thing for, PlayStation. We all suffered through a pandemic. It affected all developers, and, we just end up having to wait a little bit longer. With that being said, I'm going to link this. You guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. Please, if you enjoy the video, leave a like on the video. It helps it to be seen, and it helps the channel to grow. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.